On Christmas Eve morning, beneath a sky washed in pale winter daylight and drifting clouds, Rowan Hale felt the familiar heaviness of the season settle on his shoulders. While other families hurried through the bustling outdoor market with laughter and armfuls of decorations, Rowan carried only a fraying tote bag, a tired smile, and the tiny hand of his 5-year-old daughter, Mara. The cold wasn't what made him shiver. It was the fact that the holiday, bright for everyone else, always seemed to magnify everything he had lost. He had made peace with being a single father, with the struggles, the long shifts, and the quiet nights. But nothing prepared him for the moment when he lifted his head and saw the one person he thought he'd never face again. His ex, Alina. The woman whose sudden departure years ago had shattered him in ways he had never admitted out loud. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Heart of a Father to support more stories like this. Rowan froze for half a second. It was enough for Alina to notice him. She was dressed in a soft beige winter coat, her dark hair swept into an elegant twist, her expression glowing with a happiness that once used to radiate for him. But beside her stood a tall man with sharp features and a polished look, her fiancé, Rowan realized. He was touching her elbow gently, guiding her through the crowd. In that split second, Rowan felt something twist in his chest, something between regret and acceptance. He didn't hate her, not anymore. Life had its own currents, and people drifted. Yet seeing her here, under bright daylight, surrounded by cheerful chaos, made old memories rush back with unexpected force. Before Rowan could steer Mara away, the little girl tugged at him and pointed toward a row of wooden stalls decorated with ribbons and ornaments. She wanted to look at the handmade snow globes. He nodded and let her run a few steps ahead. But as he moved forward, fate intervened in the most literal way. He bumped directly into Alina, her velvet-covered box of pastries slipped, her fiancé reached to catch it, but it was Rowan who steadied her arm. For a brief second their eyes locked. Alina's breath caught, her face registering shock and something unreadable. Rowan let go immediately, embarrassed, mumbling an apology as her fiancé looked between them. "Rowan?" Alina whispered, as if the name had been waiting behind her lips for years. Rowan straightened, clearing his throat, doing everything to keep his emotions steady. He didn't want her to see how her presence struck through him like a forgotten ache. They exchanged polite nods, but the tension rippled beneath the surface. The fiancé introduced himself as Victor, offering a firm handshake that felt more like a subtle challenge. Rowan sensed it. He also sensed the quiet way Alina kept glancing at him, as though trying to piece together the life she had abandoned. Before the situation could grow more awkward, Mara came running back to Rowan's side, clutching a snow globe with gentle wonder. She had wide warm eyes, her hair bouncing around her shoulders in soft curls, her jacket slightly oversized. When she saw Alina and Victor, she offered a shy smile. Alina knelt down automatically, as though drawn to the child's sweetness. Mara looked at her closely, tilting her head as if searching for something familiar in the woman's face. Then came the moment. The moment that froze Victor, silenced Alina, and turned Rowan's world upside down. Mara softly said, "Daddy, she looks like the woman from the picture." Rowan felt all the air leave his lungs. He shot a quick glance at Alina, whose face turned pale under the daylight. Victor looked utterly confused. Rowan didn't need to guess what Mara meant. She had once found an old photo album, full of memories Rowan had kept buried, including one of him holding Alina near a Christmas tree years ago. He had brushed off Mara's questions back then, saying the woman was someone Daddy used to know. But children had a way of remembering things adults longed to forget. Alina's eyes filled with something, a mixture of nostalgia, guilt, and longing. It was Victor who broke the fragile silence, clearing his throat sharply and putting an arm around Alina's shoulders. But she didn't lean into him. She simply stood there, staring at Rowan's daughter as if trying to understand how life had shaped itself without her. To ease the uncomfortable pulse in the air, Rowan scooped Mara into his arms and excused himself gently. He didn't want to cause a scene, and he certainly didn't want to stir old wounds. As he walked away, he heard Victor asking Alina who they were. Alina didn't answer immediately. The rest of the market felt heavier. Rowan tried to focus on buying a small ornament Mara liked, a handmade star carved from light wood. He tried to smile. Tried to push the encounter aside. But Alina's expression kept replaying in his mind, especially the look she gave Mara, like seeing her awaken some deep memory she never intended to revisit. Rowan's day should have ended there. But fate, once stirred, rarely settles quickly. As he and Mara headed toward the bus stop, Alina approached again, this time alone. Victor was nowhere in sight. She stood a few feet away, her breath misting the cold daytime air, her expression vulnerable in a way Rowan had rarely seen. Rowan didn't speak first. He simply waited, bracing himself. Alina finally began talking. She told him she wasn't there to reopen old wounds. She explained that she had tried countless times to reach out after she left, but fear, guilt, and shame kept holding her back. Rowan listened quietly, his heart steady, not letting itself slip into old fantasies. He had survived the pain. He had grown from it. And he had Mara now, his entire world. But then Alina said something he didn't expect, that seeing Mara had shaken her more than she could explain. She admitted she had walked away because she wasn't ready for marriage, responsibility, or the future Rowan deserved. She wasn't stable then. But she had always wondered what became of the child they might one day have had, and when she saw Mara's face, the resemblance hit her so strongly it left her breathless. Rowan felt a strange mix of compassion and distance. He didn't want her back. He didn't resent her either. Life had shaped them differently. But hearing her speak with such sincerity made him realize how much he had changed. He was no longer the man waiting for her to return. He was a father now, shaped by the love of a little girl who depended on him. Their conversation didn't last long. When Victor eventually arrived, he seemed angry, more from confusion than jealousy. He asked Alina to leave with him. She hesitated, looked at Rowan one last time, and whispered that she wished him happiness. Rowan offered her a gentle nod. No bitterness. No longing. Just closure. The rest of the day unfolded slowly. Rowan took Mara home, carrying their small bags of gifts and food. They spent the afternoon decorating their modest tree. Mara played recorded carols on a little speaker, humming along in her sweet voice. Rowan watched her place the wooden star carefully on a branch, her happiness bright enough to fill their entire living room. He realized then that life doesn't always give second chances with people, it gives second chances within ourselves. He had spent years believing he was not enough because someone he loved couldn't stay. But now, holding Mara in his arms as she laughed softly, he understood something profound. He was enough. He had built a life from broken pieces, shaping them into warmth, security, and love for his daughter, and as daylight faded into soft evening glow, Rowan felt peace settle over him like a quiet blessing. If this story touched your heart or reminded you of life's beautiful second chances, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Heart of a Father. Your support keeps these meaningful stories alive.